Hello and welcome to another video. So today I am doing another reading vlog. Yay!
And I actually just finished rereading, 2 weeks ago. I finished rereading, what am I saying?
I finished reading the Grishaverse trilogy for the first time, so I wanted to reread the Six of Crows duology because I feel like there's so many references to that trilogy in the duology that I missed the first couple times I read it, like every single time I read it, because I hadn't read the trilogy first, if that makes sense. So I want to reread it to have everything fresh in my mind from the Grishaverse and pick up on those references. And also, after rereading this one, I am going to read King of Scars to get ready for, I think it's called Rule of Wolves. I think it might be coming out in March or so. So this is pretty much the perfect timing. I could not have picked like a better time to pick up the Grishaverse trilogy. So without further ado, let's just get into it. This is a non-spoilery section of this video. So, who would I recommend this book to? I would recommend Six of Crows to anyone who likes each of the following things. So, if you like heists, if you like impossible quests with impossible odds, if you like found family, if you like incredible characters that really drive the book, but with an amazing plot to go along with it, and if you like fantasy, but centered around a realistic set of characters and a grounded plot, then this is definitely the book for you. I love it so much and I cannot stop recommending it to everyone. The duology is great, 10 out of 10, but Six of Crows especially, I love it so much. I love the ships in it. I'm not gonna spoil what they are, but they're incredible. Cass and Inesh. I think Inesh is my favorite character, but I love Cass and Inesh so much. Love every single one of these characters. And some of you might be thinking, if you haven't read this yet, which, I mean, it's 2021, you probably have if you're here. Some of you might be thinking that 5 points of view are a little too much for you, but trust me, they're not. It's not like in some books where you're like, you get to someone's point of view and like, oh, I'm gonna have to skim this one because this is the point of view I don't enjoy. You will enjoy every single point of view in this book, I promise you. So if you haven't yet picked this up, I give this book a 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. It was my 4th read of it in the last like 4 years maybe, I don't know. Yeah, would highly recommend it to anyone. Even if you're not into fantasy, it's not high fantasy at all. It's very grounded. It just has like a little bit of a magic system here and there, but you can totally pick up on it super fast, and I would really recommend it. So do yourself a favor and pick this one up because you will fall in love with the characters and you will be like sitting at the edge of your seat all throughout the book because the plot is that gripping. Also, I finally got a hardback copy of the Six of Crows book for Christmas, and I could not be happier. Also, it is supposed to be snowing all afternoon, so it's pretty much the perfect day to read and just chillax. I haven't even started the book, and already I have things to say. So I think this is supposed to be the drawing of the ice court that Wyland does to help them, but I think they chose a font that looked too much like Comic Sans. I know it's supposed to look like handwriting, but it looks a bit too much like Comic Sans. Also, this would have been super helpful to have in the Grisha trilogy. I don't know if there was one, but it would have been super helpful. I promise I'm not gonna do an update for each chapter because this vlog would be like 100 hours long. But in the first chapter, the first actual chapter is Inesh, and I think it's a great introduction for like half of the main characters. But my only issue with it is that if Inesh is on the rooftops, could she really literally hear everything that Cass and Gilles are saying? Literally, Cass whispers half of the conversation. So are we supposed to believe that she can really hear their conversation from the rooftop? I know it's like the dead of night and they're the only ones talking, but really? So I'm on page 80. I'm just going to start chapter 6, and it's the first time we get a chapter from someone who isn't Cass or Inesh. And I'm not complaining because those two are my favorite characters. I think it's Inesh and then Cass. I love them both. But I didn't remember that it took so long for us to hear someone else's perspective. Because if they're not your favorite characters, then you're like, well. I am currently on page 114 and I have some thoughts. Do I? First of all, I did not remember Matthias being this murderous and obsessed with Nina at the beginning. Like, we're going to get such needed character development soon because he sounds like a crazy person. I mean, it's not his fault. He has been in jail for like a year, but man, does he need to take a chill pill. I've also been reading the physical book with the audiobook, and the audiobook is so good, but since I'm currently home alone, I don't know how this happened, but while I was listening to the book, I was like, how about I try to narrate the book at the same time as the narrator of the audiobook? So I was just reading the book out loud to myself while reading the audiobook, and it was so funny to me, probably only to me, because I had it on like 1.5 speed, so the narrator was going super fast and I was trying to keep up with him while trying to do like a Matthias deep voice, and man, it was a struggle, but it was kind of fun. So I suggest you try this at home. You know, if I'm the only crazy person here, maybe don't, but it was fun. I'm also really looking forward to our first Inesh and Cass scene. I need that. Why am I home alone, you may ask yourself? Well, there's kind of a bit of a snowstorm here in Spain today, and it doesn't usually snow where I live that much, and it doesn't snow like this ever. They said on the news that it's the first time it snows this much in like the last 100 recorded years. So no one was prepared, and all of my family is out of the house because they went to the doctors, and now they're trying to come back and they don't know if they'll be able to make it by car. So that's fun. If this was a YA romance novel, I'd be stuck at home, like snowed in with a cute person with me, and I wouldn't be alone with my two dogs, and I would fall madly in love with that person after, you know, deeply hating them at the beginning for some unknown reason. We would fall in love because, you know, tension and hatred just leads to love and a very healthy relationship. But now I'm alone and I'm talking to myself. So I haven't gotten a lot of reading done today, basically because I've been out playing in the snow or playing Animal Crossing all day. So when I got home after playing in the snow, what did I do? No, I didn't read. I made cookies. Also, insert footage of me playing in the snow here. I'm currently on page 235, and I think that's literally the halfway mark of the book, so I'm calling it a night for today. But what do I have to say? Cass and Inesh are so cute. I love every single one of their interactions. Cass, like, he's emotionally constipated, but their chemistry is everything to me. I love them so much. Also, I'm always complaining about not having like good female friendships in fantasy, and Nina and Inesh are just like, it's what we deserve. They're like the only female friendship in this duology, but there's it's something, and I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I love them so much. I love seeing like all the different friendships and the different relationships that the main six have, because there's like so many variations and they're so different, and I just love them. So far I've gotten 3 different references to the Grisha trilogy, and they're not the references I was looking for, because before, when I read the Six of Crows before reading the Grishaverse, before reading the Grisha trilogy, I thought that they would all be like big cameos from very important characters, but they're more like small references that you would not even recognize as references if you haven't read the trilogy. So the first one is on page 139, or somewhere around that, and it's when Inesh is counting her daggers and like praying to the different saints because she names the daggers after saints, and one of them is called Sancta Alina, which we all know is the main character in the trilogy. And then we have in page 163, Nina is talking about her tutor, or her mentor and like a very high-ranking officer in the Second Army, and it's Soya Nasayalensky. And Soya was a very important character, one of the most important secondary characters in the trilogy. And when I recognized that name, I was like, huh. See, I did pay attention while reading it. And then the last one I've gotten to so far is on page 187, and the reference is to I don't remember his name, maybe I didn't pay that much attention while reading, but it's one of the, I think they're Han?
Is that... I don't remember. The Shu? No, they're not Shu.
One of the siblings, there was like the very tall guy and the sister who was a lesbian. Well, the guy who was really freaking tall, and they also worshipped Alina without her knowing. The guy, there's a reference to that, because she says that she once knew a guy that could recite poetry, epic poetry for hours. So, there you go. I feel like such a pro getting all these tiny references. And now, you can feel like a pro too, without even having to read that trilogy, because I don't recommend it that much. Also, something I really appreciate about this and the next book in the duology is that their heists don't go perfectly as planned, you know? Usually in heist movies, things go perfectly as planned. And by that, I mean Ocean's 11. Like, everything goes according to plan. Maybe you have to, like, change some stuff, but these guys are just, like, flying by the seat of their pants, man. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just like, okay, we fucked up. Let's see what we can do to stay alive. And I really like that because they have really set up the ice court to be, like, the most impossible thing, an impossible goal, an impossible thing to accomplish, to break into it. So it makes it a lot more real that they have these obstacles that not even Cass Brecker could have predicted, and that they have to, like, rearrange their whole plan and adapt and overcome. So I think that's pretty cool. Makes it more believable, also makes it really, really enjoyable. I just read Inesh's scene climbing up the shaft. I love her so much. She might be my favorite character. I don't know, it's a like tight competition between her and Cass. And I think after them, it's Wyland, because I just love him so much and I can't wait for him to get chapters in the next book. So after a very, very long day of shoveling snow, I have finally got into the part where there's an actual heist, because I had not noticed this before on my other reads of this book, but it takes at least like 280 pages, if not more, for them to start the actual heist, which goes to show how good the book is and how compelling each and every single character is, because you literally spend more than half of the book just getting to know them and watching them prepare for this heist and not actually doing the heist. So every single one of these characters and their flashbacks are compelling enough to keep you reading and to actually enjoy your time getting to know them. So props to you, Leigh Bardugo, because I am in love with every single one of our main characters. Speaking of love, every time I read this book, I am reminded of how much I love Cass and Inesh together. They are my OTP in this book. I love all of the ships, but they are my favorite one, and I just love how in love Cass is with Inesh. They're so obsessed with each other. They're always aware of what the other one is thinking or feeling or where the other one is. And I love that so much. I love every single interaction between them, and I just like crave interaction from them which is why I'm not looking forward to reading the end of this book. So I just finished reading Six of Crows, and man, those last 60 pages were still an emotional roller coaster. I think by this point, this is the 4th time I read the Six of Crows book, because the first time I read it, I loved it so much that right after finishing it, I jumped into reading it with the audiobook again, like right after finishing it. And then I did a reread of the series, so that means I read it 3 times, and this was my 4th time. And I still loved it. Those last pages though, they were really hard because I was getting my hopes up because everything was looking up, but I knew what was gonna happen. So it was even more devastating when it did happen at the end, because I just want my babies to be okay, and especially Inej, because she really deserves that. That scene with Cass and Inej and the "I'll have you with that armor, Cassbreaker, or not at all." It kills me every time. I love every single one of their interactions. I'm just so in love with their love. I remember the first time I read this book, like when I got to that ending and Inej was kidnapped and they were all like down in the biggest pile of shit ever. I was like, I had to wait at least a year, I think, to get Crooked Kingdom. I don't know how I survived that year, because I'm now suffering and I have the book like right there, so I could pick it up anytime I wanted to, and I'm suffering now. So I guess that's it. That was the Six of Crows reread. I think I'd still give it a 10 out of 10. Really loved it. Audiobook was great. And now I guess I'm just jumping into Crooked Kingdom, so wish me luck. Also, just one little thing. I just got this book for Christmas because I didn't have it yet because the first one was my sister's, so I only have the second one. And look at this. It wouldn't be as bad if it was a sticker, which are like bad enough, but you can take it off. It's part of the cover. And when you buy it online, obviously it doesn't say it comes with this little freaking thing that's not a sticker. So now this is what my book looks like forever. Why must they do this to us? Like, I know I complain about stickers sometimes, but I'd rather have a sticker than this permanent thing that I can never take off. So that was all I have for you today. I was planning on making a video for both of the books in the duology, but I talked so much only about Six of Crows, I thought it would be a long-ass video if I tried to squeeze both books into one single reading vlog, so I split them up, and I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this reading experience. It was a special one also because now I'm always going to remember reading Six of Crows for the 4th time during one of the most spectacular snow-ins in Madrid. Like, it's never snowed this much in like the last 100 recorded years, so it'll always have a special place in my heart. I guess if you like this video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm guessing I'll do the second reading vlog for this one soon, so keep an eye out for that. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post quite frequently on this channel, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!